Can you help us to understand what actually cloud system is?
Right. So I'll help you understand cloud in a very, very simple way. And I'll give you two definitions for it. Okay. So the first definition is a more technical definition. Okay. So before the cloud happened, the way software and IT and these applications, the way used to run is that a company would buy a server and set up the networking and all that within its office. They will build some kind of a small data center to set up the server and the networking, and they might have some security equipment, they'll have some data storage in some kind of a private data center. This was the traditional way of doing things before cloud. With the cloud, the change that happened is through the internet. Because of the internet, what the internet facilitated is that the software and the data is all being served from a different location, not from the company's own data center, but from a data center across the world and from a third-party data center, and the application data is all stored somewhere else. Okay, so this is a technical definition. Now I'll share a more important and an economic definition that is more relevant to the business owners. Before cloud, imagine you have to set up your own data center, you have to set up your own server, networking, data backup, all that things. That is all capital expenditure. Okay, you have to invest several lakhs of rupees into buying the servers and also buying the software. It's all capital expenditure. What cloud enabled is completely remove the capital expenditure and changed it to operational expense, OpEx. And the way it happened is that using the cloud, hardware can now be rented on an hourly basis from Amazon Web Services or Google or Windows or Azure. Okay, you can rent hardware on an hourly basis. You don't have to buy the hardware. Similarly, software, you don't have to buy a software and pay the capital expenditure. Rather you can just buy software and pay for it as you go. You can pay for it based on as much as you use, or pay for it depending on how many users use it. So this had a big impact on the adoption and the usage of software, because earlier only the biggest companies that had a lot of money could spend the capital expenditure, could spend hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars to acquire the hardware, acquire the software to set it up. But with the capital expenditure almost going away and everything becoming OpEx, and that too at a cost of like a few dollars, maybe $10, $20 a month, sometimes free, that led to a huge increase in the adoption of software. And the biggest benefits of this have been the SMBs, small and mid-sized businesses, who are able to now, thanks to this economic model of the cloud, they're able to use world-class applications, world-class hardware at a very nominal cost, a few dollars a month.
Wow. So it's like you made us to understand this in a simple term, simple language, and I'm sure people will be able to get through this. So can you tell us more about the no-code? What exactly no-code technology is?
Right. Before I share no-code, let me share an analogy with you. Okay. Let's say that you want to buy a house. Okay. So there are a couple of very different ways of buying a house. One is that you can buy a ready-made apartment, and which is pre-built, and you can move into it very quickly. You can close the transaction, and you can within a week you can move into it and set it up. But every apartment in the locality looks the same. The other complete end of the spectrum is where you can build your own house. So for this, you have to buy the land, you have to engage a architect, you have to engage a contractor, you have to get the clearances from the city council government, and it takes more time and it takes more money. But with this, you can build the house of your dreams. So this same analogy exists in the software world as well. So the ready-made software is the example of standard software that exists, but it is not customized to the needs of the users and buyers. Whereas the build your own house is the analogy of custom built software, where companies can build the software from scratch, completely customized to their own needs. Now, both of these have their own challenges. So ready-made software, the challenge is that although it's very cost effective, but the challenge is that it's not really customized to the needs. And because of this, either the business ends up adapting their way of working to the software, which is not ideal, which is not good, or they end up making some kind of a compromise. And then the customized software, the challenge is that it's very expensive. It's very expensive because it has to be developed by developers who take, it's a human being who has to develop the software, or a team that has to develop the software. It's expensive, it takes time, and because it's being developed completely customized for you, there's a certain unpredictability in the whole process, because you don't know what you'll get, and you don't know how much time it'll take. It happens all the time that a developer team will say, okay, this software will take 6 months, but it actually ends up taking more than a year or 2 years. So I had worked in the software industry for over 15 years, and I saw these challenges, and I just thought that, is there a better way of doing things? And what we realized, we looked at this thing called Lego blocks for inspiration. And Lego blocks are these block games that we have played with when we were kids. And the beauty of the Lego blocks is that with the same set of blocks, we can form different shapes. And we just thought that, how can we implement a software with this kind of architecture? So what we did with Orgzit is that we have implemented a certain set of blocks which are the software components, and the components can be put together, they can be stitched together or glued together in different ways to get different applications for the users and different scenarios.
Very nice. So it's like a plug and play thing, and you can use the software with little changes, like little customizations are happening over there. Am I right?
Yeah, so it's both. It gives you the benefit of both the plug and play as well as the customizability, because the plug and play, the way it works is that we have ready-made templates that can be used immediately. It's very just similar to a ready-made software, but the no-code architecture gives us the capability of customizing that to the needs of the user. So for example, lot of time it happens that I get a customer and they start off with a standard template. As they get more comfortable with the software, and as their business evolves, as their software needs evolve, we are able to customize the software, we are able to enhance the software according to the evolving business. This is something you would not be able to do in a strictly ready-made off-the-shelf software.